time to talk.
It's 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 time to talk.
From the sunshine of South Florida to the roar of horsepower, welcome to Homestead Miami Speedway. Tonight, the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series rolls into round 4 of the season, and it's live on Green Flag TV. So glad you could join us. Marty Sicalo with you alongside Derek Watson. And Mission Control once again, Dustin Allis. And Derek, this mile-and-a-half oval, one of the most unique in the country. Progressive banking, multiple grooves, a whole lot of tire wear. Drivers are going to have to earn every inch tonight.
Yeah, one of the most difficult mile and a half on the NASCAR schedule. A track that really, in some ways, feels longer than a mile and a half when you're driving it around the circuit. So watch out for long laps, loose race cars, and a lot of exciting action.
Round number 4 of season number 6 for Mid-Atlantic. Races go up until December 16th. And this is actually a pretty good streak that the series will be on. First of 3 intermediates in a row here. Although if you count October 18th, which is an all-star race at Charlotte, but the intermediate's always fun when you put the Xfinity cars on them.
Yeah, it'll be a good schedule, right? So you got to go to Homestead tonight, Nashville next week. That Saturday race at Charlotte, that's just for bragging rights, no points there. Then you start the more difficult part of the schedule, right? You get away from your typical cookie cutters. Darlington, New Hampshire, and Martinsville take us up through the month of November. So really it's kind of like 3 intermediates and then 3 not really short courses or short tracks, because Darlington's not, but it kind of races that way a little bit.
Been a fun start to the season, that's for sure. 3 different races and 3 different winners as we pull up the point standings. Wesley Triplett coming in with a slight 4-point advantage here on Todd Slauson. Chance Manning, last week's winner at the Iowa Speedway. You saw it right here, third of the standings. Keelan McKinney in 4th. Jared Lard rounds out the top 5. Josh Neal, Justin Barkley, Dylan Ayler, Keith Ayers, and Angel Hernandez. That's your top 10 in points. And regular season goes up until later on in the year when we have playoffs. We brought up the schedule there earlier just a couple of moments ago. That'll go up until 11-18 or so. Yeah, 11-18, and then we'll have the final 4 races, the postseason beginning on November 25th, like I mentioned, up until December 16th. Tonight's races are brought to you by Admin Box, purpose-built hardware tool designed to simplify race control for iRacing League admins. Rather than typing commands or relying on complex key bindings, Admin Box offers a physical button box that connects via USB with pre-programmed commands tailored specifically for race management tasks. Its buttons feature LED backlighting for easy visibility, making it ideal for fast-paced and high-pressure race environments. It transforms asynchronous typing into quick tactile control, allowing you to trigger cautions, manage drivers, handle pit commands, and more, all with the slight touch of a button. Going over to adminbox.com and when purchasing, use code MARS-BOX, Mars, MARS-BOXX for 10% off all orders, and check out what they have to offer. And by 4 Mile Media and Design, providing professional creative services tailored to the community, such as custom paint schemes and graphics, race winner overlays and event graphics, and video clipping and editing. At 4 Mile, we make your racing moments look as sharp off the track as they do on it. Going over to 4mile.net and check them out. Don't forget to use the code MARS15 for a discount. That's Mars, MARS15. Inside the final minute here of qualifying gives us a chance to take a look at the times as things stand here, and no surprise about it. And you look through, nice car count here tonight of about 26 or so. Ryan Fleck, your quickest, the 33.68, and Nobody is on track, so he'll win the pole award for tonight, followed by Caleb McKinney, Todd Slauson, Angel Hernandez, and David Duran Jr. rounding out the top 5. And so they'll take the checkered flags here and get you your starting lineup for tonight. Fleck on pole, like I mentioned, pole time 33.681. Caleb McKinney 800ths off, but he starts on the front row. Todd Slauson inside of row number 2 next to Angel Hernandez in car number 42. Row 3, David Duran Jr. in the 51 alongside the 00 of Colton Manich. Row 4, Zach Grinsteiner in the 14 next to Alex Campbell in the 12. And rounding out your top 10, Michael Smith in the 45 and Jonathan Nance in car number 8. Derek?
Moving back into P11, you'll find Dylan Ayler in that number 92 car next to the red machine of Daniel Harsey in the 1. Then you'll find Justin Barkley in the 57. He's next to Will Moore in the 38. Back in P15 will be Dennis Kane in the 99. He's lined up next to Ed Brown. That's P15 and P16. P17 goes to Wayne Garland in the 84 next to the 46 of Wesley Pebbles. And then rounding out row number 10, Michael Gervey and Keith Ayers in the 39 car.
The 11th row, Shane Griffin in the number 4 next to Kurt Sponsler in the 49. Now those are all the drivers that took time. Behind them, per the iRating, we have Brendan Puffenbarger, 23rd. 24th will be Curry Crowell. 25th, Chance Manning. And 26th, Gary Wright. That's how they'll line up, as just waiting for a couple of drivers to grid here before we go green. Great day for racing here at Homestead, Miami. We take a look at the weather conditions this evening. 81 degrees, if I'm looking at it correctly. Track is very hot here, Derek. 106 degrees. It's going to be very slick tonight.
Yeah, we're going to take cars that are naturally loose in these NASCAR Xfinity or NASCAR B-class machines, we refer to them in iRacing, and then you're going to put them on a hot racetrack. This is going to be a lot of wild, slick racing. I suspect to see a lot of cars loose in and out of the corners tonight, so handling and tire management will be a key indicator.
Here's your race analysis for this evening. We'll go 104 circuits around Homestead Miami Speedway off the stage break around lap 46 or so. Keep in mind on the pit limit the fuel window this evening. Again, they limited about 65% or so. So that limit going to be about 44 to maybe 48 laps or so. So drivers will definitely want to caution. If not, they'll be having to save fuel throughout this first stage. And we saw that as well as a factor a couple weeks ago on the intermediate race that we had at Kansas Speedway.
Yeah, we've seen this intermediate style come into play a couple of different times, and we'll see how this race progresses. Everyone coming off a pit road, the drivers on the inside there electing to use the access road that everyone will need to use during the race. Drivers on the outside here have elected to go ahead and just, get up on track behind the pace car and be ready to go. And there's only one pace lap here, Marty, so we're just about ready to step on the loud pedal.
Driver's going to take the get onto the track after the green flag is taken. Corey Crowell and Chance Manning, drivers that have run very well this season. Well, we're glad you could join us for all the action for the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series. It's round number 4 at Homestead Miami Speedway. Pace car on pit road. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? It's showtime in the 305. I believe that may have been the case. The same went for Alex Campbell, too, in the 12. Couple of drivers that started about mid-pack. We'll have to see what happened there in just a couple of moments. But right out the gate, it's Caleb McKinney with the early race lead. Ryan Fleck second. Hang on there as Campbell gets really sideways, trying to make his way onto pit road. And the same for the one car as well at the same time. Yeah, you're correct. Those are penalties that were crossed over into last week as McKinney leads lap number 1. Ryan Fleck all over him in the 9.
Well, a lot of cars right now. I'm already going to use this bottom lane, and they'll start to creep up as this race goes on. As those tires wear, you'll want to put less input into this wheel. So right now, we're riding on board with David Durand here. And you'll see they're kind of almost at the white line. But as this race goes on, I bet more and more drivers begin to kind of creep up that hill, so to speak. But right now it's at least 4 cars in a single file line across the start line here, beginning lap number 3. And this is so far kind of single file. If we look back behind David Duran, you're going to see it's kind of single file up for the most part here. Maybe a couple battles here and there, but drivers are pretty content for the moment to ride and to see what they can find. Oh, big wreck in the back, though. The 13 cars around, cautions out, and the 13 has heavy damage here on the back straight.
Michael Gervey, solo car spin from the looks of it. First caution flag waves here at Homestead, Miami. And take a look here. There was some contact at first. Yeah, contact not just once but twice. And I don't know how there were no other cars collected in that one except for the 13 Supra.
Now, let's take a look on the top of your screen here and see where the contact's going to come from. And this is from a car right in the middle. The 13 just creeps up, though. He just really comes up that out of the corner and makes contact and sort of bounces back down here, Marty. So I would want to think almost all this is going to be on the 13.
Yeah, I wonder if Gervey just got tight a little bit as the 39 of Ayers just didn't expect.
Oh, he creeped
up top.
Oh, he got it onto the front quarter panel of the car above him, and that's what sort of sent that car up the hill.
Also had as well the 5 behind that as well, Puffenbarger, who could have been doing a little bit of aero pushing as well. This is a track that's, keep in mind as well here as well, Derek, this is a track where aerodynamics can really be key with these cars.
100%.
And everybody, we're going to see everybody come down pit road for just a moment, but yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I was agreeing with you 100%. Yeah, aerodynamics matter here. So if you have any kind of damage, you're going to want to get down pit road. You're going to want to get it figured out. You're going to want to see if you can get whatever you can fixed and take care of it. You're 100% right. You know, some of those schedules up ahead, you know, maybe a Martinsville, you can get away with some of the aero damage, but not here. It'll eat at you all day long. So only a few laps in. Only drivers. I mean, there's a few drivers on pit road: Campbell, Garvey, Puffenbarger, Griffin, Wright, Harsey. So to come back to what you were talking about a second ago, the 2 cars you saw pit on lap 1, those have to do with unclaimed wrecks from last week by those drivers. Your penalty for not accepting fault, in the wreck apparently appears to be a drive-through. So good news for them. They got down pit road and the caution comes out. So those penalties are clear. They'll be at the back of the field, but at least they're not a lap down.
It's the benefit as well to those drivers that like Chance Manning that waited until after the green flag flew. And those 2 drivers as well that had to take penalties, Campbell and Griff and Harsey, able to keep their way on the lead lap and just restart tail line when we take this green flag.
Yep, so we're ready to do our choose cone procedure here. See that VW Beetle parked there? That is your choose cone. Drivers can pick inside, outside of the pace car. Actually got me scared. That was the pace car, but the pace car didn't care. But everyone else is pretty far away here, so let's see.
I tell you what, I know you're filling for Emmett tonight, but he would have loved that. Yeah,
he would have loved that. Oh, there's someone stuck.
Big traffic jam. So
Go ahead.
They've got it all figured out, though.
At first, it felt like the top lane was more popular in the first set of field, and I think the drivers in the back moved to the bottom just because, why not? Why do you want to put yourself in a longer line? But it felt like at first with just some unofficial counting that maybe the top lane was the prevalent choice.
Restart this as we come back to the green flag. Caleb McKinney, Todd Slauson, row 1. Ryan Fleck, Angel Hernandez, row 2. David Duran Jr., Michael Smith, row 3. Colton Manich, Dylan Ayler, row 4. Jonathan Nance, Dennis Kane to round out the top 10. McKinney is the control car here for this restart, has the right to fire first. You see Slauson laying just a bit so he can look at the right side of McKinney and see when he is going. Won't be able to time this restart perfectly, so could lead to the advantage here to Ryan Fleck for second as we're back to the green flag. McKinney goes, Slauson goes, Fleck didn't get the memo. Front 3 on the inside. Breakaway, 1, 2, 3.
Right now, again, that bottom lane is probably looking at 3 wide spread out across the track as we get back to the field here. But right now, the front couple of cars, that's McKinney, Slauson, and Hernandez quickly got out front, as you said, because it felt like Fleck just maybe didn't get the jump he wanted. But again, everyone's moving to the bottom. Everyone's trying to run that bottom lane. And, of course, that bottom lane is the quote-unquote fastest or shortest way around.
Oh, boy.
We'll
3 wide behind them.
Hold on.
Some contact as well with a Michael Smith sandwich with Ayler underneath and Nats up top. Really too close for comfort. Meanwhile, Durant has caught Hernandez for the battle for the 4th position. He's actually on the tail of Ryan Fleck for 3rd. We'll see what happens here as Hernandez has already lost a spot. Fleck has regained one.
Yep, Fleck up to P3 and on track right here. This is a good battle happening with that iRacing sponsored car on the bottom. And it was like, a big move up top that really that blue car, the 45, just kind of chopped off the nose. That was Michael Smith who did that. And he just kind of chopped off that white car up top there and really kind of killed that run. But all is good, no contact. We'll stay green here. It'll just put a little bit of space between them.
Corner racks again really sideways for Michael Smith. There's a bumper from the 8 of Jonathan Nance. And Nance really the first driver to try the outside here this evening. At about 16, 18 degrees of progressive banking that we have here. No, 22 degrees, I should say, at Homestead, Miami. And you see Nance was forced to left, and this allows Ayler to make the pass and move up to 6th.
Yeah, so what I think is happening here is that right now the drivers running up top maybe are going to lose a little bit of ground for the moment, Marty. But later in the run, this is sort of short run, long run conversation. Real quick here, this is the on track earlier. This is that car that wrecked the first caution.
Ooh, Gervy.
Gervy just hit the wall and called it a day right there. That big puff of gray smoke means that engine was gone. So Gervy, the first to retire out of this race. Come back to what I was saying though, Marty. The drivers running up top right now, they're probably going to lose a little bit of ground while these tires are fresh. But it's a short run, long run style conversation, right? Those drivers up top are going to gain time eventually when the drivers on the bottom wear out their equipment.
Well, remember this as well at the same time. Yes, the top is the fastest place to be. But remember, drivers have to try and make it on fuel here in this stage. And you want to try and hang out on the low side because it's just less seconds ticking off the clock, less throttle time you really need. Or on the high side, you're really having to use the throttle to push your way around the racetrack because you have to lift through the corners if you want to try and have an economy run and try and make it to the end without having to pit.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Maybe we want to stay in the draft here if you want to make that happen as well and just kind of maybe sit, 80, 90% throttle, and kind of let the draft tug you along. Not the case right here. This is 9th place. That's Zach Grinsteiner, the P10 behind him. That is Colton Manick. Manick did not seem to be interested in sitting behind the draft and kind of riding. They'll get back together in the front straight here, but as I made that comment, Manick went his own way.
Colton Manick, a winner earlier this season, took round number 1 of the year at Daytona. Didn't run last week, 2 weeks ago, a 9th place finish at Kansas Speedway. The field is just about evenly spread apart. This one's happening around 14th or so. That's Alex Campbell recovering from that penalty from the crossover with Wayne Garland behind him. And how about the start for Puffenbarger in the 5? Biggest mover at the moment. Up 11 spots past the 46 of Wesley Peebles. He's in 12th.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks where if you're good at it, you're good at it. And it will show quickly if you're good here. Is you're able to kind of carve through the field. Maybe you made a pit decision, to stay out in that first caution and kind of gain some spots that way and kind of moved your way on through. But good job for Puffenbarger. You said NP12 puts him plus 11 on the day, I believe. So a great run for Puffenbarger. Now down the front straight right here behind Justin Barkley, and he's going to try and make the pass into 1 here.
Yeah, you saw Barkley give a kiss here to the high side safer barrier. I'm trying to make this one look easy, but again, the high side is fighting back without question. This is a track, Homestead, Miami. I like to consider it a little bit of a dirt track sometimes, because when you go to these dirt tracks, the high side is the preferred place to be. That's the place to be here at Homestead, Miami, ever since 2003 when they put the progressive banking here.
Yeah, it's hard to think it's been over 20 years since that moment happened when they put the progressive banking in. And something that came up this year on social media about Homestead. Dylan Coyle and some of the social media members from NASCAR, the managers, they do a track walk on Thursdays or Fridays, and as you discovered up here, right against the safer barrier, the track just for the last oomph of track actually flattens off right up there by the safer barrier.
Ooh.
So now, hold
Oh!
on, let's
Great
come back to that.
stunner!
There's Barkley.
Off the bumper of Berkeley and head onto the wall. Second
That's
caution
caution.
waves.
Wow, that just felt like Barkley was maybe faster than Grinsteiner, and just I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happened. Is Grinsteiner stuck there, guys? Is he?
Yeah, he is.
I think he's
Oh,
beached.
no,
No,
just
maybe he's
barely.
not. Okay.
Almost hit a flat
The way that-
tire there for just a moment.
The way that car was angled there, I thought maybe he'd beached himself there on that banking, but was able to get away from it.
We'll blame Coyle for that one, our buddy Dylan for that, because we were talking about it, and then boom, led to
Oh, so
calamity.
Grinsteiner hits the wall. That's what happened.
Yep, then tagged off the bumper of Barkley, had nowhere to go. As Grinsteiner tried to save it, a little bit too much right wheel, and around he went.
And luckily, honestly, that could have been 3 or 4 times worse, right? I mean, you have a car that's
Yes.
going to spin backwards across the track. I mean, he's just going to get up here and get in the wall.
Look how tight he was.
Right.
That's like trying to get a handful probably at home. You can't really tell the difference whether you're using 360 or 900. Now you see, he's not even on the throttle trying to get things going. I think he had the car just stalled out temporarily, or maybe he was on the clutch or just trying to get the wheel back straight. Because these direct drive wheels these days at iRacing, they can snap whenever you have an impact like that. Pit road is open. Interested to see if we have any takers here on lap 18 to see if they go half and half to the end. And there you see Kayla McKinney's comes in along with Angel Hernandez, Jonathan Nance. About 50-50 here, I guess you could say at the least here. Yeah, about 50-50 to say the least here, Derek. So we'll catch up with Derek in just a moment. Front 7 decide to stay out and see if they want to try the economy run. Todd Slauson will restart as the leader. And we saw this a couple weeks ago at Kansas Speedway where we saw some drivers try to go green to stage checkered. But for some drivers, they had to pit early. One driver took the stage win, but eventually it cost him a chance at... cost him a chance of staying on the lead lap as he had to tow it, go back a lap down. I believe that was Triplet that did that a couple weeks ago, if I recall correctly. So coming to the choose this time here. And Derek will have to watch Athon back very closely if they decide to risk going for the top here this time.
So first is going to go to the bottom, second up top, third bottom, fourth on the bottom, fifth up top, sixth on the bottom, 7. So here's right here. This is your pit stops. Bottom, top, top, bottom, bottom, top. So, I mean, the bottom really was kind of more prevalent for those who just pitted, which makes sense because those tires are cold and new and you can probably get some grip down there. I think a lot of the choose cone, though, is really it's more about driver preference and where you're comfortable. I think a lot of drivers pick that way. Maybe that's not the way I would. I probably want to pick it based on strategy and new tires, old tires. But I think a lot of times, if you were to analyze this choose cone by choose cone, I think a lot of drivers pick the same lane consistently.
So McKinney to line up outside row 3 with the freshest tires of the bunch. You want to keep your eye on Puffin Barger, who restarts in 7th, topped off on fuel underneath the first yellow on lap 4. So Todd Slauson, Ryan Fleck, David Duran Jr., Colton Manich, Dylan Ayler. Also behind them, Wesley Peebles, all staying out. So McKinney first on actually took fuel only. Nance took fuel only. Anyone doing tires? I saw one, Dennis Kane in the back in 18th or so. The rest mostly fuel only as we're back to green, and Slauson is checked out. Side by side for second on the track. Durant and Fleck racing each other very hard off in turn number 2. As they nearly made contact at points 3 wide. McKinney stuck up in the middle, and the first driver up on the outside, that 00 Manich, who nearly gets tight. McKinney slides up the hill just a moment. Still side by side for second. The drag race for 9 of Fleck in the line while Slauson's gone.
Yeah, he really is, for the moment, is kind of pulled away, and very happy to see that side-by-side battle on back. That will not allow Durand or Fleck to run the lines they want to out of the corner, and it will slow them down just a minuscule and maybe help put Slauson up in the lead here as we work through lap 22. And what I'm curious about right now is going to be, Marty, who does what with those pit strategies, right? Who maybe took tires, who can move through the field? Do they move through the field? Maybe the bigger question. But we'll watch all that as the race goes on here, because again, they're side by side down into 1.
Well, I tell you what, keep an eye on the 99 and 13th, Dennis Kane. He has jumped up 5 spots or so since restarting. Only driver that decided to take a fresh set of tires. And this is a series, in fact, that you only get 4 sets of tires, and in a 104-lap race, not too bad of a time to take that, considering that you'll have to pit about probably 2-3 more times here this evening.
Yep, mathematically, you want to kind of work yourself through those. I mean, 104 laps, if you don't consider overtime, means you could take tires, let's say, roughly every 27 laps and, be okay. And, of course, every time you get a caution, you can kind of extend that out. Ooh, and see what's going to happen. Kane in the 84 almost got together right there. Kane is making aggressive lane changes.
So Kane on the move. Alex Campbell there in 9th. Been talking about him throughout the day. He's going back up near the front. Here's a battle for 3rd. Durand Jr., Dylan Ayler. 92 trying to make a move, but a race for the lead. Ryan Fleck peeking underneath on Todd Slauson for the top spot.
So we'll see how this works out. It's going to be, better in versus better out. But, man, Fleck got right on through and is going to now track up here and get in front of Slauson and take the lead here. I'm impressed that bottom lane is still working as well as it is.
So Fleck to the point. Slauson tucks back in line in 2nd. Followed by Durand Ayler. First one on the outside is McKinney with company from Angel Hernandez. The battle for a final spot inside the top 5. See if he can get that to stick.
That liquid Molly car, the 147. That's a good look for that car, by the way. Looks pretty well accurate to the sponsor it's representing. So a nice battle here right in the middle of a couple cars. And look how they're all just, you can see them kind of drifting and kind of almost skating their way up the track here out of these corners. Watch it again here and you'll see the cars just get a little bit out of sorts. The 76 here, we're in a very fittingly colored kind of aqua green here. Not so bad that time out of 3 and 4. Boy, out of 1 and 2, they were pretty loose.
All that dirt tracking from time to time there, Derek. Here he goes underneath on Hernandez. Battle for 4th. So you check that battle for 5th on the track, and Hernandez around the outside, able to clear the 76 of McKinney. Now here comes Puffenbarger again from the back, trying to make a charge up towards the front.
Trying to make that charge. Remember, Puffenbarger started pretty back in the field, so he's now plus 16 on the day as he currently rides back in P7 to start at P23, according to my commentator math. And right now, I mean, down the front straight is still pretty single file, maybe a couple passing opportunities here and there back through the field. But I think some drivers now are starting to get a little more antsy about making that top lane work. See a couple drivers slowly moving up.
How about the hard racing from Dylan Ayler? Had to go all the way down to the basement. In fact, crossing over on Durand for 3rd. Look at Hernandez trying to thread the needle here possibly, but thinks better of it.
Too wide, and yeah, you're right, that car in the back already thought that liquid Molly car was about ready to peek in there 3 wide, and I'll live to fight another day. And as a driver, I respect that. Sometimes that's the hardest part of racing, is knowing when to back out, knowing when to pick your battles, right? When to know what to do and to do. So earlier we were talking right before the caution about this thing that was discovered on Twitter or X, I guess we call it now. So this is a picture that Dylan Coyle tweeted from Homestead. See that? Look on the left, just by the wall. See how it starts to flatten out right up against the wall? Yep. There's now some belief in the community that that's maybe why the high side works at Homestead. Is, you know, if you're willing to really flirt with the wall that much, you kind of get a bit of a flat surface up there, and maybe that's why the high lane, you know, can be so dominant at Homestead. So it's a really interesting thing that Dylan Coyle and others found on their track walk, and Dylan tweeted it out, and Reddit kind of took it and ran with it, and it was kind of fun to watch for a couple of days.
Well, we all know what a lot of drivers believe as well, and Anthony Alfredo's talked about this. When iRacing at times, as McKinney and Ayler have some close quarters racing there in turn number 3, that high side. Drivers like to run it specifically because there's a little aero cushion, kind of like similar to a cushion in dirt track racing, with all the extra dirt on it and give you all the grip and all the speed off for turn number 4. You're hugging that wall, you get some extra aero bite out of that, and you get some more speed, especially through the corners. Here we go for second. Hernandez making a run underneath on Slauson.
Yeah, so again, once again, thanks to Dylan Coyle for tweeting that photo back a couple months ago. It's kind of fun to watch that and speculate. You're at the air cushions also up there, and that may be what the 22 is trying to put down.
Oh, man.
Jeez Louise. Not supposed to work, but it did right there. And Slauson lost no time on Fleck. That's the more important thing right there, I think. And he's actually going to make a possible pass here. Nope. He tried, but I think he passed that liquid molly car, but nope, not yet.
I tell you what, they were lurking 5 abreast. In fact, from 2nd to 9th, Alex Campbell, 1 second separates them. So this is like 7, 8 cars all in a gaggle here in turns 3 and 4. It's like a traffic jam on A1A.
It reminded me of that, was that moment at Auto Club like 4 or 5 years ago when NASCAR did the tribute to the fans, and they lined them up like 4 wide on the pace lap.
5 wide.
That's kind of, yeah, 5 wide. That's what it was. Yeah. Watch this again here.
Take a look at this.
Yeesh. Yeah, I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 wide, if you're not 6, if you want to push it. I'd say the track's not built for 6 wide, so I'm glad someone backed out.
Man, if only we had a telescope to describe everything like that. That would be pretty cool. Side by side again on the track. Ooh, we do. Okay. We have to have a little fun with that down the road this season. Dennis Kane, Todd Slauson. And again, remember, we talked about Kane with those fresh tires. Trying to take advantage of it. He's cracked the top 5. Challenging Slauson from 4th. And it's working very well for Kane at the moment. And we're approaching here, nearly 10 to go in the stage. Kane's got to make up 2.2 seconds, though, to catch up to the race leader. Look at this. Underneath on McKinney for 3rd.
And what that means, by the way, is some of these drivers have really pushed their fuel and their tires all the way, right? We've seen some drivers pit for fuel. We've seen a couple drivers, pit for tires. But there's some drivers, including your leader, Ryan Fleck, who has not pitted yet. David Durand has not pitted. Dylan Ayer, Colton Manick, all those right there in the top 10 have not pitted yet. So there's a good number of drivers on different strategies here, and it's fun to see how it's all working in a moment.
You're looking at one driver that's the first to take tires. Many drivers that topped off on fuel so they could make it to the stage. Other drivers like Ryan Fleck out in front really stretching things. Yet to pit with a 2-second lead. Now, it makes you wonder with Fleck as the race leader as you watch the battle for second here. Kane trying to grab the runner-up spot. It makes you think, was Fleck using the clutch under caution, trying to save that much fuel?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, maybe not. We've had, 2, 3 of them?
2 yellows.
So 2 yellows, maybe not. I mean, I would think 2 yellows would put you right on the verge of 46 laps. Now, the question I would have is, you're not just worried about the 46 laps, Marty. You're worried about 48 laps, because you've got to get back around and wait for a pit road to open. There's that liquid molly car up against the wall. It's a 42, by the way.
Yeah, and Hernandez popped the wall for just a moment as we've got 10 to go in the stage.
So here becomes that question mark. Can Fleck, can Slauson, and the others, Durand, Ayler, and Manick all make it on gas? I think they're probably good, but I'm willing to bet they're more nervous than they want to be. They probably wanted one more caution to help them, feel secure.
9 to go here in the stage for Fleck, a 2.1 second lead. Now that Kane's into the second spot. Gives you a better idea of the lap times that the top two are running. In fact, Dennis just picked up a 10th behind them. Puffenbarger, Slauson racing for 5th. And all the grooves are coming to fruition here right now. And Derek, something we've yet to talk about, by the way, not a lot, only with Kane, the tires. A lot of wear. How well a car holds on over these long runs is definitely critical. So it's paying off right now for Dennis Kane and even Ryan Fleck.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, too. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with how these cars are handling, especially the ones that have not put any tires on. I'm impressed. I mean, obviously, we're seeing cars come up the track and, do it that way. But I'm still very impressed by the fact that, this track, again, known to be very snappy, loose out of the corners at times. The Xfinity car, known to be a very loose NASCAR stock car model in iRacing. I'm impressed by these drivers, and as I say that, there goes one down the track. So maybe I spoke a little too soon. That's the 46, and he's still up the car behind him. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with these cars.
Keep you post down the gap between Fleck and Kane. It's 2.2 seconds. Kane had a tough lap last time, but I lost a 10th to Ryan Fleck. So Kane hoping that Fleck has to pit before the end of the stage. 7 to go. You remember the pits closed with 2 to go.
I'm willing to bet that slowness, honestly. I think he's a little off pace and maybe just uncomfortable in the car, Marty, and just is trying his best to hold on to the stage in that 46. So that's what it hasn't pitted yet. So could be the tires are wearing out. You never know.
Could be all of the above.
Yep.
Let's go back to Puffenbarger and Campbell. Final spot in the top 5 up for grabs as they drag race off for 2. Campbell, the advantage down the back.
Yeah, very big lead right now for first and seconds. Almost 2 seconds from Fleck back to Kane. And then this is where the battle in the Hornet's Nest picks up. I mean, it's Kane, Fleck, Hernandez, Puffenbarger's in there, and a few others. All pit stops happening. Now we know they couldn't make it, so never mind that conversation.
Yeah, Ryan Fleck came in, and again, the window was about 44, 46 laps maximum. Fleck, Duran Jr., Ayler, and Manich. Now, here's the con to this. Because of this track being 1.5 miles, this could allow Kane to force them to go 1 lap down, and the drivers on back would be forced to take the wave around and start tail. When we go back to grade here, just have to see really how much time they actually lose, and they're still on the lead lap, but they gotta use that access road at 1 and 2. Some things that are unique about this track compared to many of the others.
Yeah, that access road is very unique to this track and something that happens all the time anymore. I'm surprised. If I was going to do that stop right there, Marty, I would have done just enough gas to get me out of the stage and then come back down understage and done the full stop. I would not risk going a lap down. But here's what's going to happen, though, with them making that stop right there. For whatever laps we have left here, in about 3 or 4 laps, they're going to blow right on by with brand new tires.
If they did pit for brand new tires, though, is the question. And I'm looking at these stops here. Fleck took 4 fresh tires, and yeah, everyone that just pitted went for 4 Goodyears. So now what I'm
gonna, they can unlap.
So Fleck's the only one that's on the lead lap for right now. Duran Jr. is just going into turn number 3. Free pass car is Daniel Harzy, who pitted on lap number 17. Now, next question we wonder here, the pits are closed with 2 to go as Peebles comes in. Is Todd Slauson going to be able to go the distance in the 22?
Yeah, he's locked in unless he comes down pit road this time, which I think he's going to do. Let's wait and see if he's going to make it. Nope, he gassed it back up, so he's going to go ahead and... Well, that's the back straight. He's going to go ahead and... watch that over.
At a moment there.
And we all there, yeah. But it's going to come down and up. You're right, he is going to come down here with 2 to go. Right before he crosses the line, he's going to get down the pit road using the access road. Not required, by the way, in NASCAR. He just wants to be out of the way and not get run over here in this moment.
Yeah, tough break for Slauson. Could not measure the feel right. Not a lot of them could really measure it, right? Is one lap to go here in the stage. Alex Campbell, don't know where he came from. He's all the way up to second here and could challenge Dennis Kane to steal this stage win at the end. But I don't think it's going to be enough here. Kane, the 99. Oh, Campbell sends it deep here into 3 and 4. Peebo's going to be a factor in this one. He's forced to left. They'll be side by side coming to the finish. And it's Dennis Kane taking advantage of that second caution with 4 fresh tires and way at the stage break.
There's the caution.
Oh, man.
Cross, Barney the flag man has the flag out. And, well, that was a good first stage. We answered a lot of questions. We now know, they couldn't go to full stage. We were kind of wondering. We were right. They probably did need one more caution to secure that that first full run. And lots of strategy being played here at the end of the stage.
So everybody's going to come down pit road this time by. We'll step aside and take a break here. Stay with us. Stage 2 coming up in just a moment. Live coverage of Mid-Atlantic Racing Series on Green Flag TV. Everybody basically coming down pit road with the exception of those that were forced to pit a caution flag on lap number 40. Marius Cal alongside Derek Watson with you, Dustin Allis out in mission control, and we'll see who wins the race off pit road. Now, everyone's going to be on an equal playing field. The second time Dennis King will have to deal with that. First time, obviously, under the green flag. We'll see who wins the race off pit road this time at the line. Kane gets ahead of Alex Campbell, Angel Hernandez, and McKinney. So give the race off pit road to Kane. It was 3 wide behind that. McKinney, Hernandez, and Campbell now taking advantage of this. Ryan Fleck, the 9, because he was out so far out in front, and was able to pit at the perfect time, basically. He stayed on the lead lap at the end because of that. He'll restart as your race leader. Now the only con is he'll have 6 laps of worn tires.
You read, well, not just that. That too was a very valid point, but and maybe more importantly in my mind, Marty, 6 or 7 laps less of gas than the rest of the field, right? Do you really want to be the one car that's off strategy? I don't know. I probably would have came down and topped off. I mean, even if you topped off, you'd probably still come out, I would think, in the lead or close to it. But you're right. The tires are a factor. I wouldn't have come down for tires because they're a limited set. So we see the choose cone in play here. But I would have come down and put gas in this thing. I'd want to be on an even playing field. Sorry, with the lots of last second top lane calls right there for the moment. Let's see the choose cone will now work its way off the track. A very unique thing this league does, and using that VW Beetle painted very bright, kind of highlighter yellow, highlighter green, if you will. And basically labeling it as the choose cone, a pretty cool feature they have here. But the Fleck gas situation, I think, is one to follow if this stage stays green.
Reset the field as we come back to green flag racing. Will Moore has stopped in the 38 with some damage. Ryan Fleck, Dennis Kane, row 1. Caleb McKinney, Angel Hernandez, row 2. Justin Barkley, Alex Campbell, row 3. Jonathan Nance, Brandon Puffenbarger, row 4, Shane Griffin, Kurt Sponsler round out the top 10. Fleck on the top here to bring us back to the restart. Now let's see how everyone else is behind on the 6 laps of fresh Goodyears.
Yeah, let's see what's going to happen if they're able to blow by here as the pace car pulls down.
Advantage could be coming to McKinney as he's right behind the 9. That's the case. Kane forced down to third. Hernandez slowed up because of it. Let's see what Barkley can do with that Robin Hood 57 challenging for fourth. But Badaya Nast, that 8, thought about making a run at the higher. Bacon now tucks in line behind the 57. Trouble in 2.
Wow.
21 is Ed Brown. Another car behind. You mentioned Shane Griffin as well. Third caution is out.
Wow, and at least one or both those cars, you can see that dark smoke that's come out the back of both of them. Both those cars are done for the day with a big kind of dark cloud of smoke or puff of smoke, depending upon your car. So this will be an interesting replay to watch, Marty. First lap is got to be just cold tires and probably pushing too hard, I would think, here. But we'll wait and see as we watch this car kind of limp around here. Watch the replay. Oh, that car was loose.
That has to be cold tires there. And 2 hard hits for both Griffin and Brown. 21 car having nowhere to go. Both those shots head on.
And I guess if you're Fleck, this is kind of good news. We have a caution already. Watch this car, though. He tried to overcorrect it back to the right. Just made the contact up in the wall. And then from there, it broke loose.
That's what it feels like to be inside of a 3,400-pound race car. And again, no quick repairs for the drivers. So both of them likely done for the day.
There's a different
look
look at
what's 21.
Yep, watch this. Is going to happen right in front of him. Going to come down and get hit, and he thought he had it cleared, Marty. That's one of the worst things as a driver. When you think you have the wreck cleared, and you're like, I got it, in the last second, you just get involved somehow, and you're just like, okay, well, I guess I don't. So a couple drivers topping off here. I do like this call. There's something I saw Slosser down there, and Dylan Ehlers down there. Wesley Peebles, is down there. I like this idea.
Ed Brown, Chance Manning, 2.
So now effectively you're what, 10 laps good on the leader?
Absolutely. Yeah, I would say so. So with this, it would put the drivers all under 10 laps or so to be good to the distance. So it would put everybody still at basically a one-stop race. Remember, 104-lap race here. We're looking at a window opening around the window open to the final stop with about 10 laps from now.
Yeah, but if I'm 10 laps good on the leader, that means that's 10 laps later I can pit if I need to. It also means if we need to come down to a pit stop battle under caution, I need less gas than he does. I love the idea. Listen, if you're in the back of the field, you lose nothing by topping off your vehicle, right? If you're up front, Fleck's not going to come down. McKinney's not going to come down. You're not going to throw away a front position. I get that. But they had nothing to lose already in the back of the field. So why not do it as the choose cone is in play again?
Yeah, choosing when to take tires and fuel relative to cautions or the stage breaks. It can make or break a run in short paint at times versus staying out. Can gamble on fresh tires versus track position from time to time.
So there is our choose cone. He's going to go and park it off the side of the track here for now. And he's done his job of sitting there. And, well, I don't want to jinx it, Marty. We're not done with the race, but we're currently, there's those OSHA boards, X number of days since accidents.
The Ouija boards?
I think we're at 3 weeks almost if we get through tonight. We had the one wreck at Daytona, but I think the past 3 races now after that have been clean so far.
Reset the field as we come back to green. 54 laps will go up on the board. Means it will have 50 to go next time by. Ryan Fleck, Caleb McKinney, row 1. Angel Hernandez, Dennis Kane, row 2. Alex Campbell, Justin Barkley, row 3. Jonathan Nance, Wayne Garland, row 4. Kurt Sponsler, Michael Smith. That is your top 10. Fleck has selected the top once again. Set to get through the gears once more. Back to green at Homestead, Miami. McKinney had a run and Fleck just slammed the door right in his face. Hernandez the third, the biggest loser on that restart. Well, by gosh, that's got to be Kane. He's down to 4th and has a 4-pack of drivers breathing on his neck for position.
Yeah, it is right there. I mean, that's a good reference, right? Hold on, up in the wall, I heard that. That was that 49 car, I believe, that black car, right? Well, we just both heard it and saw it live. Crushed the wall. So 22
Slauson
is also
damage.
slow.
Todd Slauson, one of the drivers that had the potential to finish in the top 5 off the pace. I was looking at, though, Dennis Kane as he had dirt tracked that puppy going into turn 3. Watch Slauson here as he gets turned off the 92's bumper. And a great save just tags the wall and just barely another race car, too.
And live right here, by the way, look at this.
Yeah, McKinney underneath.
Yeah, McKinney right there is trying to get around Fleck and has got around Fleck, in fact, to be more correct about it. But a couple big moments right there for the couple cars in the back of the field, some wall tags, some tank slappers, if you will. But all is good. We stay green flag racing here. And this may be the beginning, just one car right now, Marty, but this may be the beginning of where we're seeing Ryan Fleck kind of being just out of sync with the field on his equipment.
McKinney had the lead earlier in this race. And lost it out to Dennis Kane on the fresh tires. This time, fresh tires on the 76 by a handful of laps. Up on the outside, that's Kurt Sponsler hanging on for a top 10 spot. Just lost it to Smith in that 45. Now crosses him over. And the battle is on for 10th once again.
Battle definitely is on with that 49 car that we saw up in the wall a moment ago. And going on around here. And good battles all the way through the track at Homestead as a barely got clear right there. That was a close battle, barely clear if you can make that spotter call. But so
in front of them, here's another issue with the 22 of Slauson, and this time even more contact, and he's just hanging on to that poor thing. That's an angry race car.
Likely broken, you would have to think probably likely some kind of damage or broken from the first contact we saw 3 or 4 minutes ago. And is just having probably a terrible time keeping around the track, I'm guessing. I'm guessing if we follow this on through, we'll see probably some more instances of just a loose race car or an upset race car. And we'll keep an eye and see if something else does happen in the 22 here. We're back here to the 49, Marty. This is Kurt Sponsler back in P10 here. Doing pretty good.
He's one of the biggest movers in the race alongside the man behind him. Puff and Barcher, they're each up 12 spots. Third biggest are Barkley and Kane up 9 each. And Wayne Garland in 9th up 8. Here goes Puff and Barcher trying to grab position number 10 once again. 45 laps of race to go. Yeah, when you go to Homestead, Miami, you don't want to touch that apron one bit, but he was lucky enough to hang on to that thing, and that allows Garland, that allows Sponsler to hang on to 10th. In front of them, another challenge. Harzy on Kane for 7th, and Harzy right next to that door making that pass.
Yeah, I do want to point out, just for the record, not going to happen right now, but just so we get it said before we forget, 44 to go. You'd have to think the pit window is going to open here in just a second. If anyone wants to pit, basically from here on out, likely good to go on the gas. I'd wait till at least 40 to go just to give myself that cushion. But as of right now, that pit window should be open as we're watching a battle here in the back of the field. And let me tell you, Marty, as someone who's driven numerous laps at this track is exhausting. This track is a constant battle. It looks simple, but boy, I mean, the way you're constantly fighting the lanes, the way you're kind of having to overcorrect out of the corners to make sure you don't hit a wall. Everything about this track is a full-blown battle all day long.
Well, I tell you what, let me put my Larry Mack cap on. If I'm a driver that pitted on lap 48 underneath that yellow, I'm going the full way. I'm going probably up to lap 90 to pit.
Sure.
I want that track position. I want to be up front, although you're taking the risk of having a little bit worn tires at this point, but take the risk. Why not? Go for it. Go for it when you can. So I would say stretch it while you can in this, unless you get a yellow flag. Then everyone's
100%. I agree with that. I don't think anyone's going to pit. I'm saying from now on out, if a caution does come out, we could be good on gas at this point. I would not want to pit right now either. I just think the tire advantage right now would not be big enough to do it. But it in theory is doable. Watching the battle here back in sort of at the top 10 area of this track, so we're kind of waiting to see who's going to stand out, who'll make a move up front, and who won't. But now we're starting to see more and more drivers flirting with the top of that track, and trust me, Marty, pardon me, they can get way higher in that corner.
How high do the drivers want to go, especially late in the race? This is once again Sponsler mid-pack.
Yeah, it's a
watching the one,
right? The higher you get up the track, the more it rewards you with speed. The higher you get up the track, the more risk there is of hitting the wall.
How fast is it that you want to go in front of them? Nat sending it around the outside. A race with Campbell for fifth. And a great pass by them. Meanwhile, in front, we got a challenge for second. Barkley racing Fleck here for the runner-up.
Remember, Barkley not too long ago was sideways on the track after a bit of contact with a different car, and now here he is fighting for second.
Fleck's tires starting to fade possibly. Currently, right now at the moment, 24 laps on this run. Rest of the field on 18.
Yeah, and as time goes on, Fleck's going to fall back a little bit more and more. I know maybe 7 laps of tires doesn't sound like a lot, but it will be as when you hit the wall a little bit there. As this run goes on, and I thought for sure we'd be contacting the bottom lane right there below Fleck, but they got that worked out. But as this run goes on, 7 laps of tires will feel different. Trust me, and I think he's already starting to kind of feel the difference here as he's falling through the field.
This is the action battle on the track. And how about Nance gains another spot past Campbell? How about this number 8 car here? Maybe the fastest driver on the track at the moment here, Derek.
Yeah, it looks to be right now the 8 car is running some incredible laps. I mean, just doing a pretty awesome job. And Jonathan Nance, last time by a 34.999 was his lap time. So there's drivers running a little faster than him up above him. But, I mean, that's still a pretty solid time to be sub-35s right now on the track.
Yeah, you see the gap there. 2.8 seconds separate them. And Nance just barely enough. The fastest car on the track. 100ths help. But it's where tenths at times can really make or break the difference. So Nance looking like the best log run car on the track. Can the field catch Caleb McKinney, who is gone? 2.4 second lead over the rest of the pack. McKinney looking for win number 1, trying to become the 4th different winner in 4 races. And his best finish is a 4th at Daytona. Everywhere else outside of the top 10. In fact, he is yet to lead until today.
And boy, wouldn't that be just a real stamp of quality, a stamp of approval on the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series if we could go 4 for 4 on different winners, right? It just kind of shows just how diverse the talent, how spread out the talent is in this league. A lot of leagues we see sometimes the same winner multiple times in the season. But if we could do 4 for 4, that just shows you that on any given Tuesday, someone could win a race here.
McKinney was a top 5 car throughout the race on average running position. But the result showed something different. 18th last week.
I mean, I guess that said, though, I don't know if we're really surprised if we get a 4th winner, right? I mean, if you look at your schedule the past 3 weeks and 4 weeks, including tonight, you know, I know we're going to hit an intermediate run here, then we're going to hit a short track run. But so far of the 4 races this season, not really, you know, 4 very different track types. Your super speedway, your mile, you know, I think Kansas was 2nd. We went to Iowa, which is less than a mile. Now we're back at Homestead, which is a mile and a half, but it's very different. It's not a cookie cutter. It's really actually an oval, you know, shaped almost. So 4 different tracks. I would not be surprised to see 4 winners.
See what happens. 34 coming to 33 laps to go at Homestead Miami Speedway. We continue on with live coverage of the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series here at Homestead Miami. McKinney, your race leader. Lead trimming down by Justin Barkley in 2nd. Hernandez, Nance, Alex Campbell round out the top 5.
That was close. That was a bit of contact almost right there between Fleck and the car behind him. That was got really close, and again close to 12 and 8 right now, really close together. That's Nance and Campbell. Nance in the 8, Campbell in the 12. Campbell's going to make the pass on the bottom. Does he clear him? Not quite yet.
Yeah, your best battle on track for fourth. Nance at 1 point. Fastest car on the racetrack. Well, we're at it with 32 laps to go. A couple of things. Today's races have been brought to you by our good friends at Admin Box and for Mile Media Design. And our upcoming races here on Green Flag TV happening right now as well. OMSRL is at Atlanta tomorrow night. I believe that's PSR at Chicagoland. Thursday, Speed at Las Vegas. Friday's ETRL at Dover. A busy weekend for us. Busy Saturday with FTR at Brands Hatch, VOR at Texas, and SRA at Talladega. That's the upcoming schedule on Green Flag TV. And a reminder for us, that next week, Green Flag TV, our second intermediate race in this 3-race stretch, Nashville Superspeedway, Music City, home of country music. I want to go there sometime as a country music DJ. Don't want to miss out on it. Live at 7:45 p.m. right here on Green Flag TV.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, look, Marty, we're over 40 broadcasts in the month of October, so if you love the racing action, whether it be ovals or road courses, IndyCar or NASCAR or GT3s or whatever you have in between, likely we have something on the calendar for you, so keep tuned in all week long. We're up to, when we're at full stack, when leagues are not on breaks for seasons, we're at, I believe, 7 nights a week right now, so we're having a pretty solid run here on Green Flag TV. Speaking of solid runs, we're in the middle of one right now. We've been green for a while at this point here. Caleb McKinney, Justin Barkley, Angel Hernandez, your top 3. Here's Ryan Fleck. He's under attack now by I believe the one car, that Kyle Larson-inspired paint scheme, and hold on, caution's out, and I just heard an apology. There's going to be a contact somewhere. Yep.
Kurt Sponsler, who was running near the top 10 or so, has gone around in turn 1. And well, kiss the green flag pit stops goodbye. Everyone can pit here at this point for the rest of the race. And just hard to race it with a 39 and hard on the wall wins Sponsler.
39 just came up the track. I mean, he just came up the track, and I think maybe he thought he might have been clear. I don't know. And he just came up and clobbered that black car and put the caution out here once again. Watch it again here. Does he think he's clear?
He thought, I think he was trying to send it deep, then realized he wasn't, and then didn't realize Sponsor was on the outside. We're hearing also internet issues.
Well, as you said, goodbye green flag pit stops. This will put us pitting right now. And you watch this here, how he just kind of disappears right there. So probably a good sign he's having some kind of internet problems. And he'll have that one with your green car up there is going to take the free pass, the lucky dog, and go on around the field. But pit stops happen this time. McKinney, Barkley, Hernandez, Campbell, and others are down pit road here, Marty. I would suspect 4 tires and gas for everybody.
Absolutely, without question. All the lead lap cars come in. Colton Manich, actually, correction, is the free pass car. I believe the 14 is just waiting to pit as he's the first driver many laps down on the racetrack. So here we go. Money stop on the line. 4 tires and fuel for everybody without question. Does someone decide to gamble with the right size? I don't think so. You really want the 4 tires. And looking here at the driver, first one's coming out. It's all four tire stops here without question. McKinney wins the race off pit road. Barkley second. Hernandez third. Nance fourth. Campbell fifth. Harsey sixth. Flex seventh. Puffin Barger in eighth. Garland ninth. Durant Jr. 10th.
Well, I was going to say, I think this caution most benefits Ryan Fleck, by the way. He's not going to get out front again like he did, by staying out last time per se, but it lets him pit with the field, right? Which we were kind of concerned with that 7 to 10 lap gap. He could have been off cycle and had something bad happen, getting stuck a lap down or something like that. But good news for him, the caution comes out when it does, and it's going to kind of allow him, again, to pit with the field and get up there and do all that. So good news for him, but McKinney, as you said, who's trying to win his first race and be the fourth different winner, is going to approach the choose cone. I think he's going to pick the high side. Let's see if I'm right. That's a lap down car up front. Couple of them, in fact. Nope, McKinney goes bottom.
Nearly a hit there off the choose cone there.
Oh, there you go. Yep, it's been 3 races since the choose cone was hit. There you go. So we got our little OSHA board. We'll hopefully keep that updated. We're not going to go green. We're going to delay the green flag here, by the way, Marty. So we're going to take a second and kind of set up this race here. So, I mean, right now, you'd have to think, obviously, Caleb McKinney and Justin Barkley are in the best spot. New tires, even tires with the field. You're up front. Of course, McKinney gets to kind of choose when he goes inside the restart zone here. So, man, look how much deeper the inside lane is. I don't know if just because of the lap down cars all just chose the bottom lane. But, I mean, if we're going to look back, look here for a second how many extra cars here there are on the bottom lane. Look, it's kind of a shot here. And there's, so we can do this correctly. Here's 1. This is not going to work. 2, 3, at least 4 cars extra on the bottom lane right there. That's not on the top, and maybe more on back. I'd like to take it that I drew those numbers on the circles myself, but if you've watched other broadcasts, you know I'm not that good of an artist. That was a stamp. I'm not going to lie to you. That was a that was a stamp. If you watch me draw circles, it's I mean, it's not that pretty.
So ready to come back to the green. McKinney selects the bottom next to Justin Barkley, row 1. Angel Hernandez, Jonathan Nance, row 2. Alex Campbell, Ryan Fleck, row 3. Daniel Harzy, David Duran Jr., row 4. Michael Smith, Brandon Puffenbarger, right off the top 10. Now, I'm keeping my eye here on Fleck restarting 6th. How can he do against the field now this time on regular tires? Because he was leading for a bunch of the race throughout stage 1, and then he had to pick because he was short on fuel.
Yep. A lot of questions. What can he do? What can he do now? He's back to even ground. And I think the last question in my head, and I think everyone right now should have used 3 sets of tires. I think from what I can count in my head of cautions and pit stops, I'm hoping everyone has an extra set left. Because, I mean, we're at 20-some laps to go here, and not including overtime. And I think having an extra set of tires on pit road will be beneficial if or when that last yellow comes out. So I'm excited to see what happens in this race strategy-wise.
Back to green. Trouble in the back. 39 car on pit road. That was Will Moore that wrecked in the 38. No caution flag, though, as we stay green. He's in the back all alone. The race is happening up front. Hernandez is through up to 2nd, and he challenges on the outside. McKinney tries to shut the door. Hernandez crosses over. Is it going to work? Slide bumper into turn number 3. And Angel third track set. Oh, baby, he's Tokyo drifting that thing and hanging on for dear life.
Wow, that Hernandez car wiggled a few times in that corner. He still doesn't have it maybe just now under control, completely back in the gas here as they're 3 wide. Hernandez up top. And let's see how they do this time by. But Hernandez went for a wild ride after trying to move that I just don't think was ever going to work.
Campbell and Nance were each forced to left, and look who took advantage of it. Daniel Harzy, first time tonight he has cracked the podium and is through to third, while Campbell, Duran Jr. race each other very hard for 4th on the track.
You're right, first time tonight for Harzy, so good job to him for getting up to the top 3 and having a run here. So now it's McKinney, Barkley, and Harzy. The problem if you're anyone in that group right there, like remember you mentioned Ryan Fleck before the green flag? This pack right here is probably killing him. It's killing his momentum. It's killing his run. It's forcing him to use someone else's driving line, someone else's braking points. This could kill his chances of getting back to the podium.
Look at this battling happening here on board Fleck, watching a double trouble of cars. Battling here all for this 4th position. Campbell sliding up for just a moment. Right now board Fleck is Nance able to clear with 22, making 21 laps remaining here at Homestead, Miami.
And everything's now started to calm down a little bit. Drivers maybe now realizing, hey, still 20 laps to go, and that's still, 35 miles. It's still a long time to go here at Homestead. Still about a little over 10 minutes of racing if we stay green here. And boy, that blue car on the bottom was loose and sideways again, and got a hold of it. But that car is having a hard time.
Up the wall went the 9 as well. Ryan Fleck Campbell, big block on Hernandez, hanging on to the 5th position for right now. 20 laps remaining. These drivers here, Derek, are racing like it's the last.
Yeah, they are racing against the last, aren't they? They're really going for it. They're going all out. They're trying to make something work, trying to find any inch, any iota of space they can find. The 147 is trying to make the top lane work. And Willie out of the corner. He's at least going to get side by side.
Campbell edging out Hernandez by 300ths at the start-finish line. 3 wide, nearly behind them. With Nance about trapped in the middle, Puffenbarger and Fleck both working on the 8. In front of them, Hernandez trying to get the drive off for turn number 2. Oh, hard crash behind. 92, Dylan Ayler, and a sledgehammer shot for the 84 of Wayne Garland. 45, Michael Smith also collected, and a yellow with 19 to go can make things interesting.
And it's at least going to make it a little bit more interesting, isn't it? It's going to rebunch the field and give some people a shot who maybe lost it due to different reasons. But that was a big, massive wreck on the back straight here. It'll take a couple more cars out of this race.
And Garland, his crash looked like he had no brakes whatsoever. This was a very hard accident for the number 84.
Oh, boy. They got a little bit of contact in the back, and that car in the bottom got stuck. The 84 went down, and that was an AC Delco, that blue car.
That was Michael Smith.
It was Michael Smith who it was. You're right. That he just got stuck. He was along for the ride, had nowhere to go.
That hit for Garland, this will take your breath away at 110 miles an hour, and he makes this impact.
Oh, boy. That's hard to judge right there. After watching the replay about who did what, who came up, who came down, I don't know. But there's already some apologies on the radio for that wreck.
Watch Smith this, with absolutely nowhere to go.
He just chose bottom, thinking the bottom was going to open up, and unfortunately for him, a typically correct call, I would say, but just not this time.
The last couple of drivers coming in. Now, this will make things interesting here.
I'm surprised.
Because we went about 10 laps on that stint, and we saw 6 laps can make or break the difference earlier in the race. See, Slauson's in, Manich is in, Kane and Peebles. Now, Kane takes 4 tires, and I believe that's his final set that he's used. And same for Colton Manich tonight. Peebles just finishing his pit stop with a set left. And Slauson's still in the pits.
When I say I'm surprised, what I'm surprised is not so much that you want tires. I get that desire. But I kind of assumed that people would have waited to use the last set. I'm assuming for most drivers, this is their last set. Watch that wreck again. Just a little bit of bump, and then it went sideways from there. But I assumed, based on my counting, that most drivers, this would be their last set of tires, Marty. And so when I say I'm surprised you're willing to use your last set this early. Unless you're really confident we stay green from here, I would want to have my last set maybe 10 laps from now. That's why I'm surprised.
So prepping here for this restart. And I'm going to say this. Lights are off. We're coming green this time by. If we go green to checkered with 16 to go, I'm keeping my eye on Dennis Kane here. We know what he can do on fresher tires. He's got 10 laps of them, and he won the stage off of fresher tires. If we're able to go green to checkered, Dennis may be in the catbird seat.
By the way, that was an official choose that went by the last time. The choose cone car having some problems I guess, staying connected, or I'm not sure what happened, but the choose cone was not able to come out. So the choose did happen right there, Marty, despite the lack of car. So this is our official lineup at the top and the bottom right here. This is where everyone's going to be. So McKinney, no surprise, chose the bottom. Durand up to the top, and you see on back here is ready to go.
Here we go for the restart. So McKinney able to hold. Barkley through to second. Durand third. Hernandez trying the top. And no surprise, same with Jonathan Nancy. Gets there on Hernandez. 3 wide for fourth. XD2. They bang. Hernandez hanging on not just once, but twice.
My God, I can't believe that worked. I thought for sure we were in for another caution, another wreck. We may still be. Hold on, that one car just made contact with an 8. Oh, we're all good. I thought for sure we were headed towards another bit of contact. They're now 3 wide back there with Ryan Fleck on the bottom. And we're staying green here, but now it is like they're racing for the win, and like they're racing for the last lap here.
3 wide for third now this time. My Harsey, not a lot of room. Forces Durand up. Nats with some breathing room as well. And again, they try to careen out of control off of each other.
Well, for the moment, they've calmed down again here yet. There's Fleck on the bottom. There's the 5 and a 12 on behind him. They're 2 wide, at least 3 lanes deep here. Car up on the wall, that black car in the front. That's going to check everyone up a little bit here. And boy, with only 13 laps to go, I don't know how we last another 13 laps, honestly.
The front 9 that stayed out are still in the front 9 spots. The drivers that took tires have not been able to make up any ground here with 13 laps to go. Your front 3, though, still McKinney up by 4/10 on Barkley. He's 4/10 up on Jonathan Nance. The only guy around the outside is going to gain some breathing room here. It won't just yet.
Nope, back to single file. So for the moment, everyone's going to calm it down for at least a corner. I think maybe on the track here, maybe not. Fleck shoots on the bottom here. And I think now at this part in the run, by the way, Marty, we talked about how the race was going to move up the hill all night long. I think at this part in the race, I know we're on newish tires. I think the top lane is now the way to pass someone with 12 to go.
First guy on fresh tires, Wesley Peebles in 10th, trying to get around Alex Campbell for 9th, who stayed out. And now let's see what Peebles can do. The dirty air is just really affecting him, especially with all of them side by side in front.
Yeah, he's also trying to use the high side, so we'll see what happens with that car if he can move up front as these laps count down here. But 1, 2, 3, 4 cars, all single file here. And McKinney, this is really the closest battle McKinney's had for the lead. Look in the top left of your leaderboard, only 0.3 of a second. This is the most pressure he's been under in a while, I feel like.
10 laps of race remain in the 305. McKinney has been the near dominant car of the day, side by side. Hernandez and Puffenbarger for 7th.
Saw a car way up to the wall. That's definitely the highest we've seen that Liqui Moly car. Oh, hello. The 46, I thought he made contact with the 5 there. I mean, I thought they both wiggled, but I guess not. But they got him that time.
Puffenbarger really sideways off for 4 as well. 3 wide. Campbell going to take advantage of this with the clean air. He's up to 8th. And once again, the drivers on the fresher tires not able to take advantage of this with 9 to go.
And that's why they're being aggressive, right? They have to be aggressive. They can feel that time tick, 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 ticking away here. And they know they have to make something happen. You don't want to sit behind a car forever. So you try something, but sometimes it's a little too aggressive. And luckily that worked out, but it may not next time.
Ooh, Hernandez in a Fleck! Oh my goodness. That was an accident waiting to happen with 8 to go.
Oh, boy, this is getting close now. They're going to have a car under Hernandez, the 12 here. He's going to dive it in here, and he's not going to make it stick. The 46 is coming on through, and this is the 46. He's now up pretty far in the field here, Marty. He's up to P9. That's Wesley Peebles having a good run here and a chance to maybe not – I don't think you get to the lead from here, but he could easily still get a top 5 out of this.
He's going to need a caution, though, in my opinion, for a top 5 spot as Hernandez really slideways there through 3 and 4. Same with Fleck. Hard Racing. Both fighting for the same piece of real estate with 7 remaining.
And they're going to be 3 wide. This may not be good. That's Fleck up top. That's Hernandez in the middle. That's 12 on the bottom. And it did work out. They got it sorted to 2x2 here. And I'm a little surprised it worked out that way.
Gamble driving her deep. Trying to hang on to 6. Black does the same thing as well. Just makes you wonder, this is how they're racing with 7 to go. How are they going to race? How are they going to race in the final few laps? We go to 4th meanwhile. David Duran Jr. Another driver. Nance is broken, and it leads to a huge crash. Upside down. Goes the 99 of Dennis Kane. Barrel rolling in 1 and 2.
Oh, my God.
A plethora amount of times for Dennis King. Wheels down. But what a wreck that was.
I know that the 8 was obviously broken and slow coming into the corner, but I don't quite understand yet how they ended up wrecking around him, essentially, like they did. We're going to wait and see what the replay shows us, Marty, but that was a wild ride.
Nance. He clips the wall, not just once,
got hit
but
again.
twice. So he's going to get things going, but his Flex trying to dodge him. He gets into Peebles, but the wreck right here, the 99, look at this. Off the catch fence once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I've lost track now.
Yeah, there's a few points.
About 20 times or so.
Yeah, there's a few points of contact that causes that wreck, Marty. It starts with the 8 being slow. He makes contact with Fleck. Fleck makes contact with a different driver. And eventually Kane, who thought he had it clear, then just got tagged in the back rear end up the hill. And up around he went. Watch this on board here. This would be a little bit of a scary ride. So this will be on board with Kane. We're not going to show the flips here.
If you get motion sickness, turn away. Oh boy. Strategy. Strategy is happening. With 5 laps to go. Some drivers with a set of tires left. Barkley brings Hernandez, Puffenbarger, Nance, Peebles, Slauson all on pit road. The top 5 stay out. Manage still with 10 laps of fresher tires. And it looks like we will have 2 laps of race to go when we come back to green. Is it going to be enough? I don't know if it will.
Yeah, it's going to be wild, isn't it? It's going to be scary to see what these guys have already done. Remember, they were doing 13 laps to go, and now they're going to try to line it up again with 5, maybe 3 laps to go and make it happen. Now, your question you asked right here, look at these pit stop times, indicates to me, for some of these drivers at least, 4 tires or possibly damage, as we're now looking at Nance and, oh my gosh, Dennis Kane up and around and around and up and down and
8,
all the way
9,
around.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I keep losing track of 14. It's too much.
It is definitely. I'm sure he feels the same way. Don't you worry about that. So lots of questions to be answered here, Marty. I don't know what's going to happen. Caleb McKinney has got to be scared. I would think that there's a restart coming with some drivers on newer tires. This is going to be an interesting. If the lights go out here, you're right. A natural green-white check. This will not be one of our green-white checkers. This will be just an organic one. Choose cone is out. It's back on the track. No surprise, our leader goes to the bottom, and Choose Cone is in play with lots of drivers up front picking the bottom. Not that many cars left, by the way.
Now let's see where Hernandez has gone. He's gone to the outside, lined up behind Manich, and this will be a 2-lap shootout. Not an attempt, though, at overtime.
Boy, you can see how the wrecks have just taken a toll on the day. I mean, look at, what, maybe 10, 11 cars in that field right there that are, that are on pace, not trying to drag their way around the track here. And for what started as like a 26-car field, that's what we're down to.
Alrighty, McKinney, Harzy, Duran Jr., Manich, top 5, and Campbell, top 5, all staying out. Hernandez in 6th, ready to bring us back to the green flag. Green, white, checkered, 2 laps to go. And a stack up on the entire outside row. And they're 3 wide, not good for the drivers on the fresher tires.
Well, not good for the driver in the middle who's got bumped up the hill. That's going to be a ride for the 1. He's going to get it saved here. But this is going to be a great ride for Caleb McKinney. Come around this time, trying to take the white flag. If he does, all bets are off, Marty.
All the blocking happening from 2nd on back. McKinney pulling away, trying to break free and get to that white flag. They're 2 by 2 further back. Doctor's jacket in the air. White flag waves were on the final lap.
Keep your eyes open. What if any wreck, any blockage happens, or it doesn't count, green flag stays out. We're going to go all the way around here, but it's still 3 wide, and McKinney is just pulling away.
It's going to be a lot of drivers. Senator deep, Puffenbarger, squirrely off at turn 2. 3 wide, nearly 4 wide down the back chute. Into 3 and 4, final time, but out in front, it's Caleb McKinney. A lot of hard luck through the first 3 weeks of the season. Managed 1 final shot off for turn number 4. They go crazy with Campbell spinning. McKinney wins at Homestead, Miami. Dolly, that's a way to finish it.
Well, let's watch this real quick. This is what you saw across the line, or before the line, pardon me, is that wreck in the back out of 4. It's a 12 car getting spun by the 1, and it's just going to involve the 12, the 1. Maybe the 2 cars are going to spin around and loosen spots here. Oh, both of them hit pretty hard before the line here. But that's the wreck. But boy, what a masterful run by Caleb McKinney. Really stayed up front, managed the pit stops, managed what he needed to manage, and won this race here, and now burns it down in Miami. Well, 76, and McKinney hit the wall once during his burnouts here, Marty. So a little bit of damage to the car, but still worth celebrating nonetheless.
So McKinney lights them up. And we'll do the results here right now. McKinney, your winner by 900ths of a second. Manich gave it everything to the checkers, but 1 lap short from it. Durant Jr. 3rd, Barkley 4th, Puffenbarger 5th, Todd Slauson 6th, Angel Hernandez 7th, Chance Manning 8th, Jonathan Ants 9th, and Daniel Harzy rounds out the top 10.
Going to be back in the P11. That's where you'll find Alex Campbell right ahead of Wesley Peebles, and these are the last 2 cars on the lead lap. P13, you'll find Ryan Fleck, who finished 4 laps down, with Dennis Kane 6 laps down after that massive flipping wreck. Keith Ayers, Zach Grinsteiner, Dylan Ayler, Michael Smith, Wayne Garland, and Will Moore round out your top 20.
21st, Kurt Sponsler. 22nd, Shane Griffin. 23rd, Ed Brown. 24th, Gary Wright. 25th is not the Choose Cone. Michael Gervey, 25th. Corey Crowell in 26th. So we will get set here to talk with your winner. Caleb McKinney gets things done. Top 3 are all in. Let's bring them in right now. Caleb, congratulations. Another great win. How was this car tonight compared to the rest?
Oh man, this car was on fire tonight. Just from the jump, I really didn't have any confidence in the car in practice, and my teammates helped me out a tremendous amount, and I can't thank them enough. But going into qualifying, I got 2nd, and from there it was just who had the best track position and who could hold it, and I just ripped the outside, got 1st, and tried to just mosey on along. And that early caution came out, and I jumped down in pits, and did that to make stage, and I got a good finish in stage. So overall, a decent finish in stage. So that really set me up for the rest of the race.
Bolton Manich nearly gave you a shot there at the end to win it.
Oh man, he almost had me. I went a little bit too fast in the turn 4, and he was definitely catching for sure. If there was one more lap left, I'm pretty sure he would have got me.
Next week we go to Nashville. How do you feel going in?
Oh, it's an okay track. I'll definitely have to put in some practice to be competitive, but yeah, overall, I'm ready for these next few weeks.
Who do you want to give shout outs to on the run?
Man, I'd like to give a shout out to Sequential Sim Sport, uh, uh, just for everything, and that includes Chance Manning, Wayne Garland, and Dominic Barbagallo, and yeah, that's it.
All right, man. We'll let you go. Great job tonight, and hopefully we'll talk to you next week.
For sure, man. Take care, guys.
Caitlin McKinney, your race winner, and almost getting that one. The second place finisher. That's Colton Manich. He's caught up with Derek Watson.
Well, Colton, boy, oh boy, I felt like he had a real shot at getting there at the very end and maybe, one more lap or one more corner even, and you probably could have got there. How close did it feel inside the car?
Yeah, man, I definitely think it was going to take a lap for sure. Caleb was so fast, and honestly, he definitely deserved that one. We were just talking. I was on probably about 6 to 8 lap fresher tires than them, and it made a big difference there at the end. But again, like I said, I mean, he deserved it. He ran a flawless race and dominated that thing. So I was glad to see him end up in victory lane.
So obviously you pitted late, you took those tires, you were ready to go, and was it frustrating on those last couple of restarts with just the way the field was kind of, everywhere and anywhere? Were you kind of hoping it would open up and give you more space?
It really, once you got back in traffic, it was tough because if you wanted to run that outside line, it was just going to chew up your tires. And I thought some guys over driving it, and I knew that it was going to come to me there at the end. If it had gone green, probably, I don't know, 5 to go or so, I knew that the race was going to come back to me. To get up to the top 3, I definitely don't think would have been a possibility without those cautions. And luckily, I just chose a good lane and was able to get a good run through 1 and 2 on that restart, and that's what kind of helped propel me to second.
Well, next week we move to the country music capital in Nashville Superspeedway. What's your outlook for that track?
That's one of my least favorite tracks, so I'm not looking forward to it. I always struggled there. I've always struggled here too, and the finish definitely doesn't reflect where I ran because I ran mid to back of the pack most of the race. I just needed some clean air, but yeah, I don't know. Not really looking forward to Nashville, but I'll be there.
Fair enough. Well, listen, it's a pleasure watching your race. Anyone you want to give a shout out to or say hello to?
Yeah, man, definitely just a big shout out and a big thanks to all the guys that put this thing together, especially Corey, like I said before, recruiting me over here and bringing me in not only as a driver but a sponsor and allowing me to do my thing with Shenko Custom Diecast, Williamsburg Contracting Racing, all those guys, all those supporters.
Awesome. Well, listen, it's a pleasure watching your race, and we'll see you next week at Nashville.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, that is P2 and Colton Manick. And then I believe, Marty, that just leaves you with our third place runner.
Yeah, let's round out the podium here with David Duran Jr. David, a great run. Talk me through it, especially at the end.
It was pretty crazy. I kind of knew the last handful of laps. Some people probably had a set left and trying to navigate through the field with the last set of tires there at the end, and somehow was able to hold most of them all besides Colton. He had like probably 7 or 8 fresher tires and myself and Caleb there, but I'm happy to finish third nonetheless. Really couldn't navigate through the field all night, even though with a decent qualifying position.
Where did you feel your car was good tonight as a whole?
I would say maybe to be the first maybe 10-15 laps. Then after that, even though I feel like I wasn't really pushing it, I feel like I was losing a lot of time after the 20-30 lap mark and just couldn't get the car to rotate. So took a gamble on not pitting before the stage, hoping a yellow was going to come out. It turns out it didn't, so we had to pit under green and go a lap down. And yellows came our way at the right time to go through the field and get through some of the wrecks that were in front of us. So pretty happy for finish third at this racetrack with this car. So pretty stoked for the last 3 races that I've been a part of.
Who do you want to give shout outs to on the run?
Oh, just shout outs to Colton and Galen. They're fun guys to race with. Raced them for quite a long time, so a lot of mutual respect between them, and just thanks to Corey for running this league and you guys running the broadcast every week. It's pretty awesome to watch a night, week in and week out how you guys run the broadcast. So I appreciate what you guys do. So we'll see what happens next week, and we can go get them.
All right, man. We'll let you go. Great job tonight. All the best next week.
All right, thank you, sir.
So David Durand rounding out the podium, but in the end, your race winner tonight, Caleb McKinney. Final thoughts before we sign off tonight here, Dustin. I'm sorry, Derek. All right, I guess we're having some issues here with Derek. So with that, we will bid adieu here on this evening. For those of you that are looking for OMSRL, that is happening right now on the other side. Till then, it's goodbye for right now. On behalf of everyone here at Mid-Atlantic Racing Series, all the fine drivers and sponsors. Our producer tonight, Dustin Ellis, Derek Watson. I'm Marty Sakala saying so long. This has been a broadcast of Green Flag TV, your home for Mid-Atlantic Racing Series. Your winner tonight, Caleb McKinney. So long.